Well, hello there everyone, this is Bob Martin, the RCSubGuy with the Nautilus Dry Docks, and this is our weekly video update with everything we get done in the shop as it pertains to all of our RC Submarine awesomeness. I really hope you're going to enjoy. Stick around because we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff, including finishing up our Stingray. It is finally going to get in the water. Let's see how well it performs. We're going to do a little bit more work on our super cheap, awesome, fun Delphin kits. We're going to delve deep into our 212 project in the hopes of getting it ready for a run next weekend. And we're going to show you our Columbia class 8-foot project, the progress that we're making on that. And last but not least, we got a new kit that is for sale. It's going to be listed on the website. This is a 96th Akula from Scale Ships. You are definitely going to want it. Without any further delay, we better get started. All right, guys, let's get this week started. First off, we need to show you what happens when you let sunlight around your resin printer. Yeah, so this was in my resin printer in the UV enclosure, but apparently the sunlight goes right through it and cures the resin in the resin vat, which it'll come right out. We'll be all right. But so now I've ordered an enclosure to go around the enclosure, so hopefully this won't happen again. Yeah, that's super awesome. And here's something else. I ordered some 1/2-inch aluminum channel, and they just taped it together and threw a sticker on it. That's how it got shipped. Bowed like a bow. Yeah, thanks Amazon. That's exactly what I wanted. It was curved metal for my straight submarines. Okay, guys, I'm working on our little Delphin here this morning. Got a little bit of squirrel syndrome. I said I was going to do the Virginia video, and then I sidetracked on the Delphin. So this is the situation we got going on. I got my control surfaces installed, and these guys here working super good. This one here is a little stiff. There's rubbing on the inside face of this this control surface. So we're going to clean this up, and this will work on your boats too. So this is how we're going to do it. So what I've gone ahead and done, I've threaded some sandpaper in between the two surfaces here, and now I'm just working it back and forth like this to sand out the face. And I'll do it in this direction, and then I'll switch around and do it in the other direction, and that'll just give me a little bit more clearance in between both sides without having to remove the entire control surface. And here's the finished, revised, cleaned up version. Nice and easy to move all of the control surfaces. It's really, really important, guys, to take the time to make sure your control surfaces move freely with no binding whatsoever. So these are not attached yet to the linkages, to the watertight box. So one step at a time. If this is free moving now, then you know if you get binding later, it's in the linkage and not the control surface. Jason's finishing up an 80 mil cylinder for John. That'll get done here right away. We'll get that box up and shipped out, and we got Virginia staged for the video. So we're going to have an overview video, detailed overview video of how this thing goes together, along with the footage of it in operation over at the pond, which you guys have already seen, but it'll all be in one place, so you can refer back to it in all its awesome duck-laden glory. So we think we got these stickers licked. What we did is we heated them with a heat gun a little bit, got them to lay flat, and then took the thin CA, got a little bit on the edge of my knife, and just wicked it right down the edge. So the thin cyanoacrylate is going to get actually under the stickers and fuse them to the hull. So I think we've got this licked, but if not, at least the new owner has a technique for, you know, repairing anything that may come peeling up over time. What we're going to do now, Logan's just going to repair another missing window here, and then we're going to put some glass in our cockpit. And Logan got our windows in. It's looking like a craft now. Just going to do a little more tacking to make sure that it's going to stay in place, and then we can put our interior in place. And back to the Delphin. We're jumping around like crazy here, aren't we? This lower rudder is like super smooth and loose and really easy, and that one is, and that one is, but this guy is a little stiff. And I know I lectured all you guys earlier about making sure you had it free before you connected it. What we're going to do is we're going to use our solder gun and just touch the tip of it to this brass, and we're going to heat it up and hope that it frees it up. We'll just keep moving it and moving it and moving it and see if that works. Yeah, just keep it right on there. There you go, perfect. Oh, that's so much better. Hot. Ouch. Look at that. We did it. And this only works because this is plastic, people. If you try and do that with, well, actually, you know, if you did it with resin, that would work.
Fiberglass probably would.
Fiberglass would not work, yeah. But it works for this. And here's the fruit of our labor. We got, if you want to lift that stern up for me, we got rudder. I got to adjust them. They're a little cockeyed there, but easy to do. And then we got our throttleage.
Super quiet and smooth.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. Rudder, dive planes, motor. 3 channels. So, we got to get our propeller shaft installed. And after we're done with that, we start fabricating our seals for our dry compartment. It's coming along. All right, we got our linkages run, drive shaft run. We've drilled and tapped our box, and we've also created a foam seal lid that goes on like that. We're not going to put it down yet. I wanted to show you how freaking smooth this drivetrain is. Watch this. Oh. Pinner. Yeah, that should be spinning at about 10,000 RPM. So this is going to be an interesting boat to control, I think. Yeah, lots of fun. We're almost there. We're almost at trimming time. Trim time. And if eBay is to be believed, my little dudes should be here today. So we're going to let all this cure and dry and everything. I'm going to be working on that Virginia video for the rest of the afternoon, so that's probably it for today. Tomorrow we got to get on Columbia. Hey, before I shut down for the day, I wanted to circle back to last week's video where we were playing with the butane emergency blow system. Some of you guys have reached out. You're like, hey, where are all of these files you promised us? They're up. They're free. They are for DiveTribe members. Free for DiveTribe members. It's $10 a year. If you don't think $10 a year is worth it for all of the benefits that you get from the DiveTribe, now including all of these free 3D files, sorry, it's tough. I am sharing them out. They're all there. $10 a year is all it costs to get in. Head on over. I'll put the link down here. Take a look. If you think it's worth it, grab the membership. If not, then I guess you'll be drafting this kind of stuff on your own. It is Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday morning, and we got a little surprise in the mail. So we got our characters, our scale characters for the Stingray. We got our captain and phones there. They are a little oversized, a little bit, but they actually fit in the seats pretty good. We just need to do some modifications to the chairs that'll allow them to sit properly. So Logan's busted out our handy dandy ultrasonic knife, and we're just going to lop the little footrests off, and then we'll see how the characters sit in there. And here we go. Yeah, they're a little big, but I think for an RC vehicle, you know, you'll be able to see them through the window a little better. They'll be a little more, you know, substantial. So now we got our reference material here, and Logan's going to do his magic to get them painted up. We'll glue their butts to their seats, and we'll put her in the boat. I have a real problem with squirrel syndrome. So I just got shipment of stuff in from my overseas printer, and just had to put it together to see how it went together. So you guys are probably like, well, didn't you just do one of these? Like, what are you doing? So that one that we did, it was kind of badly warped. It took a lot of work, and like all these seams were bad and everything. So the guy reached out to me, and he's like, well, now that I've been talking to you about this, my friend wants one too. Could you build two? And would you give me a break on it? Because it's easier. So I'm like, well, you know what? If I'm going to build two at the same time, the labor is actually not that bad. So yeah, I just revised the files. So these are all printed just in 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of the last one, which was 100 pieces that were all warped. So we just glued this together. The fitment is really good. I think this is going to be a much easier project. Now, we're not digging into this yet. We're just checking fitment, just making sure it works. We're going to mothball this for a little while until we get to it. This is priority here, people. All right, Logan is off, dropping Renee off at the airport because she's off doing amazingly wonderful travel things. And I've just been plucking just a couple minutes on Delphin. So I've installed about, let's see here, it'll be 612 divided by a half, 6 ounces of keel weights in the boat. Some here, some here. It's balanced about the middle of the boat, just slightly forward, which is where we want it. I just threw a rubber band on here. We're going to grab some foam, and we're going to throw this in the top secret test facility. All right, top secret test facility. It's hardly raining at all, and we've got a leak. When I brought it out here to trim it, we had a leak. So we're trying to figure out where the leak's coming from.
A little bit longer hose, but whatever.
The 2 corners. Yep, the 2 corners of the dry compartment. All 4 corners of the dry compartment. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even put the lid in.
All right. Okay. I feel good because I promised myself we were going to work on the Columbia, and we did. Thatar is a big boat. All of the decking is now secured in place. What we're going to be doing here momentarily, right before we shut the shop down, so we don't kill ourselves with fumes, is fill some seams and let that cure overnight, and then tomorrow we can sand. It's pouring down rain outside. I don't know if you can guys see that. But that means no sanding or painting or anything out there. But this is coming along. We also did the stand. We've got some cradles in here to make this interface look really, really clean. So this epoxy is kicking off right now. This is just going to be primed when we go through there. We also repaired the seams in the Delphin, so we're waiting for that epoxy to kick off. And Logan is doing his best impression of a librarian. But we got, let's see here. We got our little dude.
Both of them are almost done. The only thing this guy is missing is hair, so that he doesn't have...
Is that focusing? Focus! So we're almost done. We're almost ready to glue that in. And then, yeah, we'll be ready to start trimifying this thing. And then, in our ample free time, we've been delving deep into the spaghetti and meatballs of the 212. It may look kind of complicated, but once you kind of break things down circuit by circuit, everything makes sense. So this was a very kind of KISS scenario. This rear compartment especially, just one gigantic motor 2 servos and 2 speed controllers, one of which is for the main drive motor and the other one is for the bow thruster. And we found out the bow thruster is actually a brushed motor just running in the wet. I think that's fine. It's going to require a lot of post-mission maintenance, WD-ifying.
Cleaning and whatnot.
So we are tracing all the wires, making sure we understand what does what. And right away I'm going to grab my X20 and we're going to put a TDR10 receiver fire in here. And we're gonna start mapping out all of our functions and seeing if we can get this thing running on my FrSky. Okay, putting the TDR10 in there now. TD stands for tandem, which means it's capable of receiving on both 2.4 and 900 megahertz. And I'm going to do both in this. And you've seen me do this before with that big Vallejo and a bunch of other boats that we put together. It gives you a ton of redundancy. You know, you can run the 2.4 antenna up in one of these masts here, and you'll get miles of range. You could go to the other end of a football field and further than that, actually, on the 2.4. And then if you dip below the surface of the water, the 900 immediately kicks in. You won't even know. You'll just see it on the little telemetry thing there. But in order to do that, you need to extend the antenna. Let's take a look. So this is the gut of a TDR10, and you can see the 3 antennas right there. And they've got these little connectors, and they just snap on and snap off. So I'm going to select one of the 2.4 antennas. These are these little guys right here. I'm going to pop that off. I'm going to pop on my extension, and then put everything back together again. So Logan's got our interior all done. It's going to be really hard to see until we light the thing, but there's our little dudes. Oh yeah, there you go. Looks cool. Awesome. So yeah, now we need to fire it up with some lights so we can actually see what it looks like in there. So if that all looks good, I think what we need to do, we need to drill some drainage holes in their footwells in this low part, which you might even be able to do from this side if you don't hit their feet. And then we're just going to tack it with 4 little begoobers of silicone, and we're going to be ready for trimming when it's not pouring rain outside. Jason's got some filler on Columbia, so we're waiting for that to kick off.
You missed the good part of the tape on reveal.
The tape reveal, yeah.
So satisfying.
Yeah, so we're going to wait that to kick off, and we'll do some sandy sanding, priming. And I got all the channels set up on the radio here. 7 channels of control. So I've got, stuff and things working. But my ballast system isn't working. It's using one of these M-Tronics switches. I don't know if it's wired correctly, but I assume it is because it was working at one point, but it's not pumping, and it is not venting. So I'm going to pull this unit, and we'll double check the wiring, and I've got these in stock. So if I need to, I can swap it out. This is looking good, people. Looking really, really good. So we're trying to diagnose why our switcher majigger is not working, and I think it's because the wires are kind of messed up. Nasty looking suckers. So we're gonna have to strip those back. Yeah. So we got it figured. We got the ballast majigger figured. We got down. That's our solenoid clicking. Stop touching it, damn it. That we go down. Solenoid opens, vents the tank, goes up, out, and then where does that go? That black hose. Oh, here. So that's interesting. So he wanted the bubbles to come out behind the sail so it would come up. Interesting. And because the exit is higher than the inlet, it should do that. We'll have to try that. Interesting. And then we got our air pump up. And it sucks air from the dry compartment And if this valve here is closed, it'll create a partial vacuum in here, blow into the tank, becomes positively buoyant. You come to the surface and then you trip the valve, opens the valve, and pressure equalizes, and you can pump out the rest of the tank. This is kind of like an R&R system, a little bit, but the valve is manual as opposed to a snorkel valve. Schlick as schnot, man. Now we just got to put it all together again. And I got to run my cable out and up, and we need to try out our video camera and all sorts of stuff. This unit right here, this transmitter is really hot. I don't know if they're supposed to get hot. I don't know. One problem at a time, people. Ta-da! Okay. Enough for one day. Wednesday, and it's gorgeous outside. Jason's out doing some sandy sanding on Columbia. We're going to check and see how good a job he did filling it. We'll get it sanded and then primed. And Logan is working on the Titan submersible, ill-fated Titan submersible for Roy. We got some ideas. So first off, we need a ballast system. And we're going to be using a linear servo and a syringe. We just need to go from barely positive to barely negative. That's all we need to do. We're going to use some pumps for propulsion and for vertical depth control. And what Logan's doing right now is modifying the plunger so that it bolts onto the actuator. All right, while the guys work on stuff that's actually making me money, I'm going to be selfish and work on this a little bit. For whatever reason, the lights aren't working. I don't know if they're rigged up on 5 volts or 12 volts, but when I get them hooked up, they're not working. Whatever. And this never did work. The rotating... that came loose. That was just siliconed in. The rotating radar mast. But the big thing I'm trying to do is redo the linkages for the Fairwater planes. So right now, you can see they've got these magnetic connectors. You drop the hull down and it connects to like a linkage bar on the inside of the boat that looks like this thing right here with these magnetic connectors. It's kind of a pain in the patella. So what I am thinking we are going to do instead is pull these out all together and run a waterproof servo up into the top, and then that way it's just one quick electrical connector versus all of these mechanical connectors, because they had this, Collier had this elastic band, and it was supposed to kind of trap these linkages kind of like this, you know, and hold them in the rough position to snap together. We're just going to make it simpler. I'm going to take all this out, and we're going to put a waterproof servo up in the tower. Okay, here is where I ended up with the Fairwaters. So you can see now I've got just a shaft that goes between the... let me see if I can put this in here just like this. Yeah, that'll work out real good. Between the both planes. So they're actually linked together now, whereas before they were individual, and then there was like a secondary bar over here, and then drop linkages and all that stuff. So now we've got it all on this one horn right here. And I've got the waterproof servo mounted. I just need to do a little jiggy jog over, and we'll connect the Fairwaters to that waterproof servo. And then we've got the connection going back to the boat with this waterproof wire cable thing. So before I hook this up, I needed to test that. And what I've run into over here is I'm having a problem with the built-in battery eliminator circuits of the two electronic speed controllers. They're not reliable. So these are two M-Tronics units, and it's like they're giving bad power back to the receiver. So what I need to do, and I've already done it, is wired in a standalone battery eliminator circuit that'll take 12 volts, pare it down to 5, and power the receiver. The trick is there's no 12 volt power here. It's all back here. So now I've got to tap in 12 volts into here somewhere. That, or I guess I could just run a 5 volt battery. You know, old school, a 5 volt battery pack. Nah, that'd be a pain. Never mind. Forget I said that. So, yeah, I got to figure that out tomorrow. We ran out of time today. But things are coming along. This boat is super cool. It could actually stand, I think, eventually, you know, in all my free time to revamp some of this, maybe do away with the silicone seals and stuff like that. But for now, we just need it functional for next weekend so that we can get it tested and hopefully give it the thumbs up for Subfest. And then I can put it on my future to-do list. Top secret test facility, we're testing Delphin. So we sealed up the perimeter of the watertight compartment, and now we're gonna see if it leaks.
This test hose is so short, not too
Man, where is all the leaks coming from? Lid and the bolt? Just that front seam, and then around the bolt. Okay, all right, okay. So let's talk a little bit about Delphin, now that you saw all the leaks there and everything. This is like an ongoing process here, guys. You're not going to get it right the very first time. What we should have done, rather than having the bolts go into the watertight box, was have the bolts come up from the watertight box, because then you can seal them directly to the watertight box, and then there'll be no leaking going on, in theory. So that's all well and good. Now we could drill in a bunch of studs into this, but what would be better for the sake of simplicity and for uniformity would be to drill in the bolts from the bottom. Bolts rather than studs from the bottom. Then they would all stick up at a perfectly uniform distance. And we could also seal them around their little faces on the bottom of the little lippy thing there. The other thing that I don't kind of like about this, because I'm trying to design this for, you know, the beginner, is that you need to seal around the perimeter of the watertight box that we have in here. I'm going to go back into the files and I'll see if it's feasible to add a bottom to the box. So the box is actually a box and not a perimeter. I got to go back to the old drawing board again. If it works out that way, what we're going to do is strip the guts out of this, knock the tail off, because the tail's nice. We did a good job on that. And just reprint the body of the boat. Maybe we can print the body of the boat with the box in it. There's a lot of possibilities here. What do you think? Stingray is now ready for trimming. Well, back out, top secret test facility. Things are looking good so far. This is where she floats, fully surfaced. Can you give it a little throttle? Look at that, it's working. Yeah, I don't think it's going to have much of a reverse to it, but yeah, it's working and it's level. So when you give it more throttle, it sucks air, right?
I can try and boost it.
All right, hold on here. Let me. Oh, it's pushing water.
It is by no means a speed demon.
It's pulling a lot of air. You can see the bubbles coming out.
You can actually see a vortex coming out the back.
Yeah. I mean, it's moving. But, I mean, I think if you really wanted to tool around on the surface, you need to take the ballast down, which we're going to do right now. Yeah, that's the water maybe in the ballast tank sloshing a little bit. When it's full, that'll go away. Okay, stop. Okay, all right. We need weight in the front. We need this much weight in the front, and it'll be perfect. Which we've got a lot of upslope, you know, when it's fully surfaced. Why don't you grab some, grab a bunch of the stick-on weights, like a whole bunch, like 4 or 5.
Those are the first pack.
Yeah. So this was 2 strips in the front. They had the perfect pocket there. Look at that, man. All right, let's bring it back up and see where it sits on the surface now. Pump's not running. Oh, yeah, it is. It's just super quiet. So that ballast tank is going to be, it's going to make for some interesting transitions from full to empty. That's perfect.
I like the orange lights in the back. It kind of makes it look like a thruster.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's something going on there. It's cool.
It's floating nice. I think all we need to do now is put her in the big pool, see what it does. What do you think? It's going to sink to the bottom?
It's gonna work.
Die
100%.
horrible? 100% first time. We're going to be packing it tomorrow and sending it to the new owner. That's better.
You're better.
Oh, that's so much better. Oh, nope, now it's back. It moves pretty good. It's actually about the same smooth surface as it is submerged.
You hit full throttle, or is that full throttle?
No, on the surface it just pulls air. But right now it's just pumping water. I can see it, and it goes faster at lower throttle. So I'm going to say that was a very successful run of Stingray. It's not a speed demon, right?
No, not by any stretch of the imagination.
It's a pretty big boat. And we do have the skis permanently mounted, so those are not exactly what you call hydrodynamic appendages. But it's about as fast on the surface as it is under, and it's fastest at about a quarter throttle, third throttle, because as soon as you get any more than that, it pulls air into the jet, and you lose efficiency in there. So I'm happy with it. It also doesn't steer super well. You'll need a bigger pool to run it in, or of course pond would be absolutely perfect as well. We're going to add just one more sliver of foam because we want it a little bit. And then tonight, provided we don't forget, we're going to throw it in the pool at night and see how this thing looks. It's going to be pretty awesome. It is Thursday today, and we had Stingray in the pool last night. Performed beautifully, absolutely beautifully. With no pitch control, that thing is absolutely and utterly rock solid. Like it'll hold a perfect depth for as long as you want to keep it there. It's still probably ballasted a little bit low, but I think for a starting point, it's probably fine. We can let Mel know to keep an eye on it. So that was good. We're going to be doing an overview video momentarily. But we've been working on other stuff. So Logan's doing our Delphin lid. So we're gonna wick glue in around the studs so that they're all completely sealed without the chance for leaking, and then we'll revisit our polycarbonate lid. Acrylic lid. It's acrylic. This is going okay.
Only problem is that this one's become stripped, so I'm gonna have to partially fill it and then drill and tap it again.
Yeah, that could be. Well, actually, this should be fine. Once this is glued in, this shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. But right now, if I push this in, that's the wrong side. So to finish clearing it up, but whoop, just falls
right through. Yep. Yeah, a little CA. Kick it, drill it, tap it. All good. And then we've been fighting with the 212. We think, so everything was working in terms of ballast tank. We did away with the waterproof switch, which ended up fusing on us. We think it might have gotten water into it. So now we're just going direct to the battery, which in this boat is going to be perfectly fine because the hull access is so easy. You just pop it off, snap it, pop it on, and you're gone. Our relay switch here is working properly to kick on our pump, and you guys saw there was video evidence. The solenoid, the vent solenoid was working. It stopped working. We thought it was the solenoid. I replaced it with this little unit here we used on our 80-inch DeBoer Seaview, and this is just temporary, just to hold it out of the way until we clean things up. But it's not working either. So the solenoid was probably fine.
This is all the goop
coming off of the connector. So we think the waterproof connectors got compromised somehow, which is really interesting. We'll have to put some dielectric grease in there when we're all done.
Yeah, because on both top and bottom, it's literally coated with this stuff.
Yeah. So hopefully it's a bad connection in there. Fingers are crossed. We'll see. All right, more electrical gremlins going on here. We lost power in the back. There's a loose connection in here somewhere. There, it just started working again. Oh, do you think it's up in here?
I think so.
I just want to show you guys how smooth this is, though. Like, utterly and completely smooth. I'm anxious to get this in the water, but now I'm worried we're going to be looking at redoing every single wire in here. Still no solenoid. All right, we got to track it down. So, the waterproof connectors are proving problematic. They're making momentary contact in the back. Jason's got a suggestion that we just redo everything.
At least the one box. That maybe. But this one probably for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like this giant glob of silicone idea, which is front and back. There. I don't know if I have those small, medium S3 boxes. So this place sounds like a construction site right now. Logan's going to town on Columbia. We're building new boxes. There was a lot of things that we were finding the deeper we went. For example, with the air pump, I just tugged on the positive wire and it completely disintegrated. It was completely corroded. So this was the negative wire, and you can see on this how black that is. I've cut back at least 1/2 inch and it's still all black and corroded. So we're going to replace this all fresh wire, fresh modules, fresh seals. This boat is worth it. So pretty good progress today, all things being equal. I haven't made the Stingray video yet. I'll have to do that this afternoon. Columbia is coming along really nice. I sent Logan to go get some more primer. This is looking schlick as schnot here. And we've begun the new boxes. So a little bit different. You guys remember this used to be a servo in here. I switched it to a solenoid. So now you don't have any of those mechanical linkages or anything like that to jam up. It's just a straight on-off controlled through this little relay right here. And we're gonna totally clean up all of the wires. What we're gonna do is run a conduit between this box and the aft box and run all the servo connections and everything through it. So there's no waterproof connections. There's at least 6 sets of wires. There'd be like 15 or 16 wires that need to go between boxes. With the large conduit, we can run all of those through together and it'll act as one big large waterproof compartment, which means we should in theory be able to blow more ballast while completely submerged. So that's pretty cool. We're waiting on some servo extensions. I just ordered them. We need 4-foot servo extensions to run in between, and we're re-energizing our ballast tank. I had this solenoid, which is a much larger orifice than the previous one. This is a big tank, so we want a big vent so it doesn't take 5 minutes to empty. So we're just gonna L it off the top, connect a hose over to here, and then like that. And then it'll vent up underneath the tower. All the air will come up there and it won't get stuck under the hull. So pretty good progressives today, all things considered. Yeah, it's Friday. Thank goodness. We packed up Stingray. Stingray is done. The video just got uploaded earlier today. So if you're watching my weekly update video, just a few hours before this, the Stingray video got uploaded. That's packed, that's boxed up, waiting for the final payment from a customer. We'll get that shipped out. We got another cool shipment in. I want to show you what we got. This is the impossible to find 196 scale Russian Akula class kit from Scale Ships. If you guys have been following my channel a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we finished retrofitting one of these, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Maybe I'll put some video of it right here. I don't know. But this is probably one of, if not the best, most detailed model kits we've ever seen come through the shop here. So let's take a look at it. So we get full-scale blueprints coming from Vladimir with scale ships out of Belarus, and he notes, you know, all the colors and everything, all of the periscopes, masts, what they are if you translate them. You know, torpedo loadouts, everything is there. Beautiful. This would be worthwhile framing just on its own. I do want to note, by the way, that these are out of production. Vladimir is no longer producing them. So if this is something that interests you, this is about the only one that you're ever going to come across in brand new, unmolested, unstarted condition. Just take a look at this hull. This is black gel coat, epoxy fiberglass layup. And I'm going to show you the inside of it here right away. But man, oh man, the scribing detail is immaculate. Absolutely beautiful. If we pop this off, you can see the quality of the layup there. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Integrated lip for alignment. The upper and lower hull just slips down over the top like that. Let's take a look at all the other goodies you get here. All the stickers, the decals, as I call them, but decals if you're American. Gosh, 3 sets. That's pretty cool. Brass photo etch stand plaque. All of the dry transfers are included. It actually looks like there's 2 full sets here. That's cool. Layout drawings, you know, descriptions of where everything goes. And then these are really like gorgeous all unto themselves. All the masts and periscopes in brass and stainless. Look at that. All the photo etch details get applied to the hull. And this is really like immaculate work. The fit and finish of these resin pieces, which are fully pre-assembled and ready to go. The details, just look how crisp and sharp those are. Absolutely gorgeous. We got all of our sensors and little fins and all of that stuff that go on the boat. And then a beautiful scale brass propeller, stainless drive shaft, bushing for the back, your dive planes, and the reactor scoops. Everything you need to build a museum quality model kit of the Russian Akula 2 Project 971. So we're going to repackage this up nicely, box it up, and this is going to go up on the site. So if you're interested, like I said, your one and only chance. This boat was probably one of, if not the best performing submarines we've had through the shop in a long time. Again, you'll have seen that last one that we built out on the pond. Gorgeous boat. The Russians knew how to build fast submarines. So take a look. If you're interested, grab it quick. It's going to move. Well, we are wrapping it up for this week. Let's get a little bit of a feel for where we're going to be leaving off now and starting up next week. So you saw we started on this basically by just wrapping our brain around what we wanted to do from a strategical perspective. We got our reference material here. Logan knocked out the ballast system for the boat, which is I think it's gonna work really good. And then what we did is I fabricated a bayonet. And I think what we're gonna do is make this removable like that, and this whole thing is going to be dry-ish. We'll see. That's the plan right now. We're not completely sure, but that's the plan right now. We're not using this, but this is going to maybe, you know what? I just had a thought. We could use a peristaltic pump. Stay tuned next week. And we're going to use these for propulsion. forward and back, up and down. That's the thought. Columbia, coming along. This is a long process of filling, sanding, priming, filling, etc. But it's looking awfully good. This is a cool boat. That would be a hell of an RC model at 8 feet long, but it would not be for the faint of heart. And last but not least, this is where we've left off. I got most of the waterproof box for the 212 completed. I'm just in the final wiring phase in here. I'm using a bunch of power blocks in here to distribute power as opposed to soldering, and that's going to make diagnosis and replacement and maintenance and all that kind of stuff a lot easier coming down the road. So we're going to be working on this next week, or maybe this weekend. Maybe I'll come in here on tomorrow morning if I'm feeling frisky and play around with this a little bit more. We got our new solenoid vent valve installed. So I want you to notice too that this ballast tank is sloped upward. So when Collier did this, he did a super awesome job, and he sloped it upward. So the bubble always forms here and vents out. That's it. That's a great idea. We cleaned up all these parts. These are all ready for the new box. Logan mounted our servos. So all in all, we're doing good. So the 212 was a little bit disappointing in that I was kind of hoping it was going to be an RTR model. Just like do a little fine tuning, swap the radio out, and off to the races. It looks like it had been flooded a couple of times. There was a lot of corrosion in there. The motor mounts were completely rusted through. You saw the pump ended up, all the power connections for that were completely corroded through. So this is a necessary step. The hull is absolutely gorgeous, and I still think the value is there from what Collier had done and what I got. I'm happy with it. Just might not be ready for Friday for the Fitz float on the weekends. We'll see. Got a week. We'll see. And that's it. We're done. I'm going to start editing this video for all of you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. Pop the comments down below. Get back to you as soon as I can. You have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you next time.